Bruce Lee was not just a deadly martial artist. He was a complete revolutionary combat system that permanently changed the way the world understands martial arts. Today, we're going to break down his most lethal techniques and disciplines, ranked from lowest to highest level of mastery. Let's begin. Number 7. Taekwondo. Bruce Lee refined this discipline through a mutual exchange with Jhoon Rhee, known as the father of American Taekwondo. It's important to understand that this was not a one-way lesson. It was a collaboration between two masters. While Bruce contributed his philosophy of speed and direct striking, Rhee handed him the keys to the high, explosive kicking techniques of the Korean martial art. Although the Dragon already had strong kicking ability, Jhoon Rhee introduced him to Taekwondo's most spectacular kicks. Taekwondo is a Korean martial art known for its high, fast, and explosive kicks. From Jhoon Rhee, Bruce refined his high kicks, especially the side kick to the head, which became one of his signature weapons. He learned to generate explosive speed in high roundhouse kicks and incorporated jumping and spinning kicks that later became iconic in his films. However, Bruce adapted those techniques to fit his own philosophy. While competitive Taekwondo emphasized high and flashy kicks, Bruce used them strategically. He preferred the low side kick to the knee to control distance, but he had the ability to unleash devastating high kicks whenever the opportunity presented itself. Number 6. Judo. After his fight with Wong Jack Man, Bruce Lee realized he urgently needed to learn grappling, so he would not be vulnerable or at a disadvantage if a fight went to the ground. Judo, created by Jigoro Kano in Japan, focuses on throws and ground fighting, applying the principle of maximum efficiency with minimum effort. It uses an opponent's balance and momentum to take them down, and once on the ground, control them with chokes and joint locks. Training also includes ukemi-safe falling techniques designed to prevent injury. The Dragon learned fundamental judo techniques such as the major outer reap, hip throws, and shoulder throws. More importantly, he learned takedown defense, something completely absent from the striking arts he already knew. He developed grappling awareness, understanding how balance and leverage function in close-range combat. He also learned basic joint locks and chokes that he could apply if the fight hit the ground. Bruce incorporated these concepts into his combat philosophy, even though he still preferred to keep fights standing. His philosophy evolved. A complete fighter must be dangerous at every range of combat. Number 5. Filipino Eskrima, Kali. One of Bruce Lee's most important students was Dan Inosanto, an expert in Filipino martial arts. Through Dan, Bruce learned Eskrima, while in return teaching him the concepts of Jeet Kune Do and sharing combat principles he had refined over the years. It was another case of mutual exchange of knowledge. Eskrima is a Filipino martial art centered around weapons combat, especially sticks and knives. It includes single stick and double stick techniques, knife fighting, disarms, and fluid transitions, emphasizing coordination, flow, and the ability to turn almost any object into a weapon. Dan Inosanto taught Bruce the foundations of Eskrima, and specifically how to use the nunchaku, one of the Dragon's favorite weapons. Through Eskrima, Bruce developed superior ambidextrous coordination, becoming capable of striking effectively with both hands equally. He learned circular flow patterns that he later applied to his empty hand movement. He also developed weapon awareness and defensive reactions against armed attacks. His iconic use of the nunchaku in films came directly from this training. Eskrima also influenced Bruce philosophically. The Filipino concept of defanging the snake, attacking the weapon, or attacking limb instead of the body aligned perfectly with the interception philosophy of Jeet Kune Do. Number 4. Boxing. Boxing, known as the art of hitting without getting hit, is a combat sport built on precision, speed, and control. It revolves around 4 devastating punches: the jab, cross, hook, and uppercut, combined with footwork and head movement. Its training develops explosive power, extreme endurance, and surgical timing, where a single mistake can mean a knockout. For Bruce Lee, boxing introduced concepts that Wing Chun did not strongly emphasize. He developed a devastating Western-style jab that became his primary weapon for controlling distance, much longer than the short-range punches of Wing Chun. He learned boxing footwork, which expanded his mobility and allowed him to circle, pivot, and attack from multiple angles with agility complementing the mostly frontal and centerline-based structure of Wing Chun. Bruce also incorporated Western hip rotation to generate knockout power in straight punches. He developed head movement as well, slipping and weaving away from strikes instead of relying only on blocks. But most importantly, boxing taught him something revolutionary. Combat could be scientific based on physics and biomechanics, not just tradition. This realization changed his mindset forever. Number 3. Jun Fan Gung Fu. Bruce Lee's Jun Fan Gung Fu maintained the core structure of Wing Chun, especially Chi Sao and centerline theory, but with major modifications. Bruce expanded combat beyond the close-range limitations of traditional Wing Chun. He incorporated the Western jab and boxing combinations. He added higher and more varied kicks. He also began experimenting with different stances, instead of relying solely on the classic Wing Chun posture. At this stage, Bruce could combine the explosive speed of Wing Chun with the power and range of Western boxing. His jab became his primary distance control weapon, followed by combinations that blended Wing Chun straight punches with boxing hooks. He started using side kicks and front kicks at medium and high levels, something almost unthinkable in traditional Wing Chun. His footwork improved dramatically as well. He moved with the grace of a boxer while maintaining the explosiveness of Wing Chun. However, one event would change everything: his fight with Wong Jack Man in 1964. Even though Bruce technically won, he realized he had become exhausted far too quickly. His cardiovascular conditioning was not enough. He also understood that if the fight had gone to the ground, he had no answers, and he noticed that while his Wing Chun techniques were fast, they lacked the knockout power he wanted. The fight left him frustrated. That moment became the catalyst. Bruce decided he would never be vulnerable again. He aggressively began searching for answers in other martial arts. He completely opened his mind, and the evolution accelerated. Number 2. Wing Chun. Thanks to 5 years of intense training in Wing Chun, Bruce Lee developed legendary hand speed that surpassed almost any opponent. He was reportedly capable of throwing 6 punches in less than a second, something that left opponents stunned. Wing Chun is a southern Chinese kung fu style focused on close-range combat, known for its rapid punches, efficiency, and simplicity. It is built around center line control, using structure and positioning rather than brute force. During his years training under the great master Ip Man, the young dragon developed extraordinary tactile sensitivity through Chi Sao training, allowing him to feel and react to an opponent's movements in milliseconds. Number 1. Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do was created through Bruce Lee's obsession with finding the most efficient way to fight. Beyond training in multiple disciplines, Bruce studied combat with an almost scientific obsession. He spent countless hours analyzing boxing matches in slow motion, especially those of Muhammad Ali. He became fascinated by Ali's footwork, his distance control, the precision of his jab, and the way he changed rhythms to confuse opponents. Bruce studied Ali's perfect timing, how he could evade punches by mere inches and instantly counterattack. He studied Ali's mindset as well, his confidence and his psychological pressure over opponents. Bruce directly incorporated many of those principles into his own system: constant footwork, explosive mobility, and the jab as the primary weapon of control. But Bruce did not limit himself to studying the greatest boxing legend of all time. He also analyzed champions such as Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis, and Jack Dempsey. He studied Olympic judokas, fencers, and any discipline that could teach him something useful about timing, distance, and efficiency. His library was filled with books about biomechanics, combat psychology, and physical conditioning. Bruce did not train like other martial artists. He researched combat like a scientist. Additionally, fencing had a massive influence on the birth of this hybrid martial art. The dragon became fascinated by the speed of fencers, their distance management, and the idea of intercepting an attack before the opponent could complete their movement. That is where the concept of the intercepting fist was born. Additionally, the dragon also studied concepts from savate, a French martial art known for its fast and precise kicks. Many of those techniques influenced his famous stop kicks, used to intercept opponents before they could launch an attack. Bruce understood that the most efficient fighter was not the one who threw the most strikes, but the one who struck first, at the exact right moment. In 1967, all of that evolution took shape under one name: Jeet Kune Do. the way of the intercepting fist. But it was not a traditional martial art. It was a philosophy designed to eliminate everything unnecessary and keep only what truly worked in a real fight. Bruce Lee rejected rigid forms and decorative movements. His idea was simple: intercept the attack while striking, turn two movements into one, and react without wasting energy. That is why he repeated his famous phrase.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
A fighter should not become trapped inside a single system, but adapt to any situation. For Bruce, martial arts stopped being styles and became tools. He understood something very few masters were willing to admit. Clinging to a single tradition could become a limitation. In a real fight, only one thing matters: what actually works. That is how the Jeet Kune Do stance was born, a side-on position to reduce the target area, the strong leg forward for stop kicks, weight on the balls of the feet for instant mobility, and hands protecting the center line. It was not about aesthetics, it was about survival. Bruce Lee was not trying to create another martial art. He was trying to build the most efficient way to survive a real fight. Every discipline he studied had a purpose. Every technique was an answer to a real danger. And in the fights almost nobody knows about, Bruce had to use all of it. If you want to discover every fighter who pushed the great master to his limits in real and extremely dangerous street fights, you cannot miss the next video. Thanks for watching. Support the channel with your valuable like, subscribe, and I'll see you in that video.